Hello everyone, my name is Digant and I'm here to showcase some of my small paintings that I did on this sketchbook. So this is the sketchbook that I'm going to flip through and talk about it, and then maybe it helps others to get back to painting. Um, yeah, here are they. So first one is called as The Giants. Um, it's um, it's mostly a blue and yellow shade of painting. As you know that blue and yellow, so in generally speaking there are several blues and there are several yellows. Blue and yellow mixed together gives you a shade of green. And then if you start from the top, the blue part, and then if you start from the bottom with yellow, and you get a nice mixture of green color in between, and then you can play around. So that's about the painting. The name is Giants, and at that point of time I have scribbled something on that painting. Calm and strong, brings tranquility and resilience. So these are the some of the words that have been trying to jot down. Okay, the second one is called as Wild Red Flowers. This is of a red and brown color majorly, and then there is yellow. So the color palette is basically you get red and some oranges and some yellow. This is called as lemon yellow, and then you mix it somewhere here and here to get different shades, and then you just play around with that and try to create an illusion that there is a tree, and then there are trees behind the trees, so going with lighter colors and so forth. So that is about this painting. So it's called as Wild Red Flowers. So I have written something like this. Here is what it is. Beauty, as we call it, is so much in abundance, still human minds skip through, treating it as a noise. Take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate what we have, as time drips to never come back again, just like the red flowers of the season in the wild. So that's what I just wrote. So no, there's nothing poetic or anything like that. I just jot down my thoughts as crisp as possible, because I just had to finish writing in this small gap. So it's like a journal, it's a great way to if you look back after a couple of years, it looks like a diary or something. And then this painting is called as Bokeh Unplugged. So this is of the same palette that we saw in the previous painting. It's basically red, yellow and some greens, which is made up of blues and yellows, and then you mix it in the palette and try to match with the other colors, so that it becomes aesthetics to see. So that's about what I have written is there is something special about combination of sunset and red flowers. Perhaps they complement each other before they say goodbye, as tomorrow is only a promise unkept. Let me know in the comments how you like it. So this painting is actually the combination of the reds and the blues that we saw in previous paintings. So this one is called as Purple Fragrance. So what I have written is purple is a child of blues and reds. They gel with all the seasons. The blue in the bright days, and dawn, the dusks. It's a lesson in harmony. That means purple is the one which fits into red as well as in the blue sceneries, or in the color palette, and you can use it anywhere that you like. So that's about Purple Fragrance. Let's see what's next. So this painting is called as Partners. So I just saw a few trees out there and I saw it's beautiful. I thought it would be nice to capture the trees with few minimum strokes. So I painted this with the leftover colors in the on the palette. So it's named as partners. So what I've written is, they seem to me as one entity: the soil, trees, waters. Their long partnership brings life on earth. If you separate them, they cease to live. Long-term relationships sustain on the same principle. We long for each other and thrive to survive. So that's about the thoughts that I have jotted down on partners. So let us look at the next painting. This one is called as Green Woods. So this is basically to try to learn or relearn, because I have done this sort of paintings prior to this as well. So this one is called as Green Woods, and it is done in such a way that it creates an illusion of depth. Basically what you do is you draw lighter colors in the first layer, and then increase the pigments or increase the darkness of that paint as you create layers. So this creates illusion of depth. So this is called as Green Woods. So what I have written is, a walk into a forest is enchantingly healing, as it is the mother of the air that we breathe. Walking alone is even more spiritual, wandering experience. So I like to walk in the forest. So I imagined what it'd be like to recall the memories that I walked to the forest. So that's about the Green Woods. This one is one of my favorite paintings, because the reds and the greens is very well spread through. So this is called as the golden time. So this is a sunset time. So there is a sun, and sunlight is passing through the forest, and then there is because the sun goes down, and you get this shades of yellow, red, orange, and all sorts of these warm colors. So when the sun rays pass through the forests, what happens is that the leaves, where the density is less, the light passes through that and it seems transparent, and that transparency is captured in yellows, and then as it passes through towards not so lighted area, it becomes green, and then it becomes darker brown, and then towards black. So that's the theory about this painting. And as the light passes through, it also sheds some light on the grass that is on there on the ground. So it becomes like a golden color, because you have this grass, and then there's transparent layer, and then it has some sort of a depth into that. So that creates a golden color. So I have tried to capture that in this small sketch. So that's about the golden time. The thoughts that I have jotted down is, during the sunset, air turns to gold, and the grasslands are kissed on the golden blankets, and the red flowers appear as if they are blushing. So it's quite romantic, isn't it? So this one is called as Tranquility. So this is one of the similar paintings that I have done a couple of years ago. Basically, there is a mountain, there is an ice mountain, and then there are pine trees around, just to revisit whatever I had done before. So this one is called as Tranquility. The thing I have written is that standing to face a mountain is an experience where man's ego is reduced to ashes, and only submission to nature with admiration and sheer awe. It's the first step in spirituality. So I don't know why this is I'm thinking about spirituality and all these things. I think when you see something too big, which you cannot comprehend immediately, for example the sky, the forests, the mountains, the ocean, so all these bigger things which we cannot take it in one shot, that means we cannot consume the information that we look in such sites. So I think we become very thankful to nature, and then we just bow down to nature. I think that is what is the first step to spirituality is. Okay, let me just jump to next painting before I become Digant Baba. Okay, this painting is called as Detachment. This is I tried to look at some reference picture and try to paint, and I failed miserably, and then I thought, okay, let me just cover it up with something. So that is why you see there are some trees around, and then there is a brown muddy structure. So it's like you're standing on a cliff, and then there is mountains on the other side. So thoughts that I have written down is: swoosh of the wind, flight of the birds, set my mind on a free run, runs towards why we live a sophisticated life when we can be simply detached and be free and enjoy abundant grace of life. So that is what I think. While painting, your mind becomes calmer, and your thoughts are more positive, and you get a positive vibe is what I think. That's why such things come out when you paint. So I think if you ask any artist who is painting and then ask him to talk about something, I think he will talk in similar lines maybe. Okay, this one is called as Remnants. So I thought I'd name it as Reminiscence, but then I looked up Google. It's Remnants is the word, and then Reminiscence is derivative of that. Okay, this is based on an idea that there is an old home, and then there is a sunlight which is falling on the home, and then there is a shadow that is cast on the wall. So I was trying to understand how the shadow works. So I try to use a darker color in the shadow and then lighter shade on the walls. That is one of the approaches to get shadows, but there are several other approaches. People use warm and the cool colors in the shadows. So if you add cool colors in the warm, that means blue on red, so you get a shade, a sort of thing. So that is one more approach. So the thing that I have written here is: although looking back steals piece of your time from the present, it can be therapeutic in a way. Yeah, I think sometimes your good memories are therapy for your present state of mind. If it's not good, that means you're in a bad mood. This one is called as Sunset. This actually I think I messed it up. I used a lot of dark colors here, and I wanted it to be much more lighter and scintillating with white rays, but I couldn't achieve that, and then I messed it up, and then I covered it up with darker colors. This is called a sunset. When the curtain drops, show has to end like the sunset, yet there is another day, a hope. So that is what I have written. So okay, let's move to next painting. So this painting is actually a darker theme. So since it's a black ink on black paint, it's harder to read. So let me just see what I have written. So light never won over dark. Darkness effortlessly takes over light when it runs out of energy source. It's only a temporary contrast. That means this is one of the ideas that we keep thinking that the light always wins and stuff like that. So I thought, why not think in a different direction, because dark, you're trying to fight something which is too bigger than yourself, right? It's darkness and then there's a light. So I thought I'll give a opposite point of view, from dark point of view. And also so I think dark should not mean negative always. Okay, let me just move on to the next painting. This one is called as Longing. So so this is a tree and there is a river and there are some rocks around it. So if you see that the illusion of rock, so if you pick up the rock, it's basically you see that as gray or black. But when you actually look at from a distance, so it is, the illusion is created by imbibing or inheriting the colors that is around it. So if you look at the rocks, it has tint of yellow, there is green, and then there is a little bit of black. So that is how the volume of the rock is represented through paint. And then there is a tree. So the thoughts that I have put down is longing. Twigs longing to be closer to the water instills the faith and love. Longing for love is what keeps us going. So yeah, as humans, we always require attention, love, care, and nurturing, and all these things. Yeah. So let me just flip through another painting. This one is called as Wanderer. So this one is I try to study the boat and its shadow, and then I try to add more elements to it, like water and the trees in the background, things like that. So I struggle to get the perspective right of the boat initially, and then as I painted, so it some of my drawing went off, and then what I did was I took a dark sketch pen and then I drew so that the viewer's eyes look at this and get an illusion that they are edges of the boat. So that is how the darker colors enhance the visual borders in the painting. So the thoughts that I have written down is the painting name is Wanderer. To wander is a privilege that comes only by freedom of all kinds. Yeah. So for example, if you have financial freedom, you can travel around the world, you can do whatever whenever you want, right? So that's sort of a freedom. So if you really want to be a wanderer, so you need to be free from everything. So that's about that. So this painting is one of the kinds which I never did earlier. This is cityscape or village-scapes, or people where people dwell. So that is why I have named it as dwelling. So I wanted to study the shadows that is coming on the other side of the home. So this side, the sun is obviously on the other side, and then the shadows are cast on the other home. And then I wanted to capture the inner shadows of the home. So that's what you see in the red, and then there is a black inside that. The doors are black. So that is about dwelling. So the thing I have written is that act of building a house, rooms, compartments, in it to feel safe and secure, and then wanting to be free. Prejudices are the same. That means, so I try to connect with once I write something, I try to connect with something which is much more abstract. So for example, prejudices are similar to the buildings that we build, because we build so many prejudices around so many things. So that's about that. So this is a quick wash. Wash in the sense, you use few colors and then you try to put some water and then let it seep through the paint. So it creates a sort of wash. So that is what people usually refer it as, wash. So it's called as shadows. This I have not written anything abstract, so it's just study of dark and light contrast washes. So that's about this painting. And then this is one of the subjects that people usually draw to, because this is quite popular. You have a grape wine running around. Somebody at some point of time lived and had a great life in there. Now they are probably extinct, just like everybody in the train of the time. So that's quite deep, I think. Yeah, because we are all going to pass away from this world, and probably whatever we are trying to earn and make home and all these things that we are trying to do will have no value at all after we are gone. This painting is called as Beauty and Mystery. So here I have tried to capture the mist effect. So how do you get mist effect is that once you paint some trees or whatever the subject is, and then you have to take the paintbrush and lift off some of the paints. So that is how you get the light color. And then if you just move the paint around, paintbrush around, you get much more dynamic shapes. So that is what I tried to do. So I don't know if I'm successful. Let me know in the comments. So the thing I have, what I have written is that beauty and mystery always are together. Curiosity to decode is what keeps us on the edges. I think it's true. So this painting is called as Warmth and Shade. So this is one of the paintings which we have seen before, but in a much more greener shade. This has some orange tint into this. So it's a similar painting. So let me see what I have jotted down. Contrast of feelings walking through in warm shades or kisses from nature. So if you walk through the forest in a sunny day, you get shadow, and then you get this cool feeling, and then as you move ahead you get sunlight and you get warm feeling. So I think that contrast is something which is good, which is enjoyable. This painting is called as Tenderness. So I was looking at some of the birds, and then I thought I should do one of them. So I just googled around and found some of the bird pictures. So this is one of them. So sweet voice, soft feathers. Sometimes I wonder how delicate the forms of life. So this one is called as a tweeter. Tweets of a bird is a sign of healthy forest. So that is what I have written. This is just continuation with the previous bird. I just wanted to paint one more bird. I was running out of ideas, and so this one is called as Simplicity. This is one of the paintings which I did with very minimal colors. So I think it's orange and yellow and some tinge of black to get darker colors. This is the last page of my sketchbook, and I wanted to keep it very simple. It's called as simplicity. So there is a quote, this is not my thought, there's a quote, so it goes something like this: simplicity is ultimate sophistication. So that is what I have written there. So that finishes my sketchbook. So that's about the sketchbook that I have just finished. So let me know in the comments. For me it was like a revision, going through all the colors and getting some practice to get back to painting. So let me know in the comments how you liked it, and if I could help you in any way in terms of painting, let me know in the comments. Yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, have a great day.